Yeah, no, if it's okay, like, just I want to backtrack, see if you agree. So you did accept that if anyone's ever known anything, then whatever is fundamental must be grounding that so that they know things. And then I asked you, if you don't know that it's revelatory, how do you know it's there?
No, you see, this is the issue that we will have, right? We have to define grounding. We have to define. Well, we don't have to define revelatory because I think that's nonsense. But yeah.
Right, grounding is like basically a dependency relation in regards to the foundation of the thing that is not there.
Okay, so in regards to the thing.
Yeah, so like, yeah.
I mean,
so
literally,
like the ground of the tree is like the planet, for example, and the grounds of the planet is like, I suppose, some metaphysical space in which it resides or something. Yeah.
Sure.
Well, the Earth is flat, but yes.
Yeah.
Wait, why would anything have to be grounded in something fundamental?
Well,
because
we're going to
get
go to get to that momentarily.
No, it's easy. It's basically just going to be anything that exists is either fundamental or not. If it's fundamental, then it's self-grounded because it's fundamental, and that's what the word means. If it is not fundamental, then it's not self-grounded, and it will have a dependency relation to that which is fundamental and self-grounded. And in this way, everything reveals the fundamental.
Or dependency relations don't have to exist in the first place.
Yeah, if you're going to go with that, yeah, then basically your view is going to result in metaphysical martyrdom. You're not going to be able to predicate whatsoever.
Metaphysical what?
Martyrdom. It's where you pull the grenade on your own solipsistic, nihilistic worldview.
Martyrdom? What's the connection?
I mean martyrdom, not martyrdom.
Yeah. Martyrdom, yeah.
Well, what's the connection? Suicide. Just say suicide. What's the connection?
Mao Zedong by cops. That's the best.
No, but look,
have you been reading Gardner's World and you think it was Monty Don?
No, look, dude, look, it would be, you would either say solipsistic suicide or metaphysical martyrdom, but you can't mix the two because it doesn't rhyme like that.
What's the connection between dependency relations?
The martyrdom is killing me.
Between dependency relations not being necessary and whatever it is you're talking about.
Whatever.
Are you denying causality?
Without Vishnu, how would you know anything?
But if you deny causality, then you're going to have to deny inference rules, science, time. I mean, dude, like there's going to have huge implications for your view if you want to come out like that.
How did we switch to causality? I thought we were talking about grounding relations.
Yeah, and you invoked that you don't need dependency relations or something like that.
Why are they necessary?
Yeah, because if you have anything that's dependent, then you must have that which it depends upon, and that's what's called a relation.
No, I mean, like, talking of dependency in the first place. Why?
He's too short for this IQ ride, Face. Don't entertain it anymore. Move on.
Wait, is there no answer to that question?
How do you know?
Not that you can grok.
People think it's... Yeah, I don't mind answering this for hours. We've done it before, dude. I've got hours of footage of you on my PC that it's not even worth putting out there because it's so ridiculous and that it's just,
Well, go for it. So, like, why do we need to believe in like this metaphysical dependency?
Yeah, I'm not saying you have to. I'm saying, but the implication, whether either you will or you will not. If you will,
if I don't have
then
to.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, no one's making you do anything. No one's making you do anything.
Yeah, I mean, like, I don't have to in the sense that I'm not rationally compelled to do so.
There's going to be implications. So if you accept your view, the entailments of your view are also going to be implied, which would be metaphysical.
Give us one entailment.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. So if you don't accept, I've already given you 5. Okay, so I'll just repeat myself because you're not tracking very well. Yeah, okay. I'll just give you the 5 that I gave. I'll give you the 5 that I gave you the first time.
No,
so if you reject
one,
if you reject causal relations, you're not going to be able to accept inference rules, time.
I don't reject causal relations.
Well, I was asking about grounding relations, not causal relations.
Okay, causal relations are obviously going to result in a fundamental grounds for causality. Simplicity.
So I don't reject them. I guess discernible doesn't. Give us one thing.
I just gave you 3 on top of the 5 that I gave you before.
Yeah, but what's the connection? How do you get from, say, a denial of grounding relations being necessary to any of the stuff you mentioned?
Yeah, so like anything that exists will either be the fundamental ground or it will not. If it is the fundamental grounds, then you've hit rock bottom and it's going to be, self-contained. If it is not, then it will just have a dependency relation to that which is.
But I'm asking why I need to believe in that category in the first place.
No one's telling you what you need to do. I'm just saying if you want to be reasonable, if X, then Y.
It might
Okay?
not be.
And if not, yeah.
But
Yeah,
I'm asking
it's
about
just
the
an empowerment.
category. Is there a reason for me to believe in the category?
You will not be physically compelled, like by the edge of the sword, yet, but we are
Yes.
coming for you. So it's best if you try to understand the logical compulsion here.
But Canyon, that's
quickly.
exactly what I'm asking for.
It seems pretty self-explanatory. It's kind of like basic welcome to the universe type of stuff. Why here?
But you said I should try to understand the
It
logical
sounds to me like you're
connections.
just adopting this
Can you tell them
stance,
what they
this
are?
tone of incredulity at this point. Like I don't get what's so hard to understand about what he's saying.
But can
Is
you
it the
tell
British
me what the
accent? Like
connections
I
are?
get that. If you need help with like translation, but otherwise I don't get why you're stuck.
So, like Face said, if you deny grounding relations, then you have something like solipsism. I'm just wondering what the connection is.
No, I never said that. I never said that.
What race are
well,
you, by the way?
Then one of your whatever it was you said, if you deny grounding relations, then blah blah blah.
You're not tracking. Clearly, you are not tracking. What you should have is you should have like a dictaphone, and then every now and again you should pause, like literally like mute yourself, rewind the thing, listen to it over and over again, so you can track with what I've said, and then you can respond to me more accurately.
Okay, then can you tell me what the relation is between denying grounding relations and one of the consequences you mentioned?
Yeah, so if you deny grounding relations, you're not going to have a fundamental basis to predicate from.
I mean, that's like asking what's the relation between jumping and lifting both of my legs off the ground and falling and hitting the ground 3 seconds later. That's like, which universe are you from that you don't get it?
Canyon, your example is like that'd be an a posteriori claim, right? From gravity, blah blah blah.
Well, the grounding in this case is your leg. You stand upon
That's
your
not a
legs. If you
straightforward
take the
logical
legs away,
connection.
it all falls down.
But that's a physical connection, not a logical one. I assume Face is pointing at a logical connection.
Well, okay, but let me take you through it like from a different angle. What race are you?
I'm white.
White, like European.
Mm-hmm.
And what is your understanding about the permissibility of owning another human being as a slave? Is
I
that
promise
a
this.
never allowed
this is
kind
a-
of
this is
thing,
a-
or is that something?
This is a rabbit hole. I'm asking a very specific question to Face.
I know.
I
And
did answer it.
I'll get that. You have
Yeah.
to entertain my.
I just want an answer
humor
to
me.
the question.
Humor me.
Right? What was the answer, Face?
The answer is, so the entailment, the one entailment that you're asking for, if you deny grounding relations, is that you're not going to have a fundamental basis to predicate from.
Oh, but I'm asking why that is.
You don't get interesting already.
Why?
So boring.
Because if X, then X. Okay, now a fundamental basis is a synonym for a foundation. Okay, so if you deny one, you deny the other. You can't have one without the other. Okay?
I see what you mean. Then, but why does predication require like grounding in something else?
Yeah, so like either the predication will be ultimate or it will not.
No, but
If
I'm
it is
asking
not-
about that
not
category. Like you keep
Which
repeating
one?
the category of ultimate or not. I'm asking why we need that category in the first place.
Yeah, so like anything that it's a true dichotomy. Anything that exists will either be ultimate or it will not.
Yeah,
Well,
and
no,
if I
if
say
you wanna just go
that
with
there is
non-ultimate.
nothing that does that category, then what's the problem?
Then you would say, then you would go on the other end of the dichotomy. You would say that either there is something ultimate or not, and you say that there isn't, and that would mean everything is of a secondary order. Everything exists as some kind of non-ultimacy in regards to nothing.
But how could it be secondary if there's no primary?
Yeah, I mean that's your problem because if it was primary, then it would be ultimate, and you don't accept that, so you're stuck with like everything is of a secondary nature, but there is nothing securing it.
But what sense would it for me to say that everything's secondary if there's no primary? Like, why would I say
Then what you're
that?
saying is everything. Well, then you're saying everything is primary, bro.
Yeah, I'm asking like that category.
You don't know what you're talking about.
Why do we
You
believe in these
literally,
categories in
you're
the first
so
place?
confused. You're so confused. You don't know.
Like,
You have
keep
no idea
repeating
what you're talking about.
You keep repeating the
Okay, look.
categories without explaining why we need them.
I'm not telling you that you need them. I'm just saying if you want to be taken seriously, you're going to have to use logic, okay? And you're going to have to accept that things have definitions. And if you don't want to agree with the definition, that's fine. But then we're not having the same conversation at that point.
Yeah, I understand all these things have definitions under your view, right? But you mean to be talking about like every view.
Remember, Discernible, in your worldview, he is just,
Really, he's more interesting than me to you. Come on, man.
Yep.
Can you evolve? Can you get beyond trying to like talk about
In my
abstractions
view, he's
for once?
what, Face?
In your worldview, he's just some molecules in motion. He's not really an agent. He just washed up on the beach and randomly mutated into a person that believes in God. He can't be held
When have I
accountable.
ever said I
right?
believe that?
Yeah.
When have I ever said that?
It's just going to be an entailment of your view,
Entailment of which view?
of your solipsistic evolutionary nonsense.
I don't know if abiogenesis took place in a natural way.
We're not really necessarily talking about abiogenesis. You believe that there's in the non-necessity of a necessary being, and you believe that things can somehow just kind of evolve themselves into complex creatures that believe in God, right? That's your belief.
Evolve themselves? I wouldn't put it that way,
Yeah.
no.
Okay, what caused evolution on a grand universal scale?
You mean biological evolution on Earth?
Yeah. Well, if you want, and we can even include stellar evolution, chemical evolution, and just the expansion of space and time as well.
No.
Yeah, I
Wait
have
a
no
minute.
idea.
These are completely different things.
I have no
When we-
idea, right? Like I can
when we-
give you like a high school
when we
level
talk about
accounting of what
biological
evolution is, but that's all.
Talking about bigger things, abiogenesis and stuff like that. When you talk about stellar evolution, it is a completely different thing, basically.
Yeah,
And
maybe
that's not
different
particularly
stuff.
relevant to my views anyways.
It's still part of the overarching theory, not of biological evolution, but of evolution in just
No. It is another theory that uses the same word. It's not an overarching anything.
evolution is just an idea of like a general outfolding and change over time, right? Pretty much.
Right, but the mechanisms for biology and like stars are not the same.
Yeah, obviously, I'm not saying that like stars are made of DNA or humans are made of hydrogen gas. I'm not saying that.
Or you're hopefully also not saying that when you're talking about stellar evolution and stuff like that, it has nothing to do with biological evolution. They are completely different, as different as two things could be.
Well, in your view, one leads to the other, right? That like basically the evolution of space and time, it leads to stellar evolution, which leads to chemical evolution, which leads to human evolution. Yeah.
No, none of those things
That's
are
your view.
materially entailed by each other.
No.
In your view, one led to the other. That is your metaphysics.
No, not in my view.
Boring.
Yeah. What, you start backwards? You start with the human and you roll back to the beginning? Or?
No, I don't have a view on what the relation between those things is.
Yeah, they're stars and stars and all that sort of stuff. Planets can evolve. There is nothing that happens in that sort of the accretion disks and the creation of planets and stuff like that.
Yeah,
That
like
says
if
that
we
life-
were
that-
committed,
that says that life must follow from that. No.
if someone was
You believe-
committed to the
yeah.
train of reasoning you're presenting, then it'd be committed to saying that there's like aliens everywhere because there's stars and planets everywhere.
No, that doesn't follow. Because
Well, of course it does. You're saying that this leads
Yeah.
to this leads to this.
Yeah, it doesn't just because something leads to something. It doesn't mean it has to lead to it on such a scale where it's everywhere. It could just lead to it in such a way where it's once.
Oh, well, then it's just not a necessary material connection.
Yeah,
That doesn't
what
follow.
you said earlier. What you
Of
said
course
earlier
it
was
is.
nonsense.
If it only happens once, it's not a necessary material connection.
Well, that doesn't follow because how would you know that necessitarianism is false on your view? How would you refute necessitarianism?
Sorry, I did not hear what you said because someone.
How would you? Yeah, the only way that what you just said would be true is if you can refute necessitarianism, which you cannot.
Necessitarianism, like logical necessitarianism?
That everything is necessary. Like, I suppose metaphysical necessitarianism, everything that is had to be this way and couldn't be another way. If you can't refute that, then what you said earlier on was just rubbish.
Metaphysical necessitarianism. I don't even know why we would consider that to be true in the first place. Like, what is metaphysical
asking you to consider it.
necessitarianism?
I just defined it, bro. You're not tracking. I literally
That
just
everything is
defined
metaphysically
it.
necessary?
It would mean that everything that is the way it is and couldn't be otherwise.
So, logical necessitarianism.
If that's what you want to call it, if that's fine, whatever. I've never heard anyone
But
divide those two.
There's no contradiction in something being what it's not. So, becoming what it's
Of course
not.
there is. Becoming what it's not. What about being what it's not?
Well, that would be a contradiction, right? A being A and not A at the same time in the same way.
Okay. Only if that which is the ground of all being secures that.
No, precisely the opposite.
Yeah. No. What? So you're saying the non-groundable being can secure that for all, like universally?
Yeah, if something is thinkable as becoming what it's not, then it can't already be what it's not.
Look, how can a universal get instantiated by a particular?
How can a universal be instantiated by a particular?
Yeah.
What universal do you think we're talking about here? I'm not talking about a Platonic universal.
Like isness, like isiosity, the property of identity in regards to a particular.
I'm not instantiating anything.
No, you listen. Do things that exist have like a universal property of being what it is? The actual thing that it is, does it have its own identity?
Oh yeah, things are what they are and are what they aren't.
Right. Okay. What secures that for all things that are what they are?
It's just a condition of being a contingent thing. If you can become what you're not, then you can't already be what you're not.
Wait. So no. Look, is there something that secures the identity of every particular?
No, there doesn't need to be any securing.
Okay, but they have identities.
Yeah, and those don't need to be secured.
So why are they there? How did they get there?
Like, what would it mean for it to be unsecured? What would happen?
If something's not secure, there's a likelihood for it to fail.
And what would that look like?
It would mean that, so you'd have a state of affairs that is, let's say, in one state is secure, and then when it's not secure, it would that state would change to a state which is different. So, for example, you maybe you'd have a door that's secure, and then the lock is broken, and the door ends up being left open.
Yeah, and I think that can happen.
Right. What secures on a grand universal scale the universal of of what I just said. What is securing the property of security on a grand universal scale? I suppose.
I don't think there is any security. I think A can become not A for no reason.
Well, then you're irrational.
How so?
Do you have any precedent for A becoming A before? A becoming not A before?
It's not a claim about experience.
So when you say it's possible, if you're talking about logical possibility, but then you're saying it's possible for A to equal not A, you're saying it's logically possible
to
something to
become
be
not
logically.
A.
Well, no one disagrees with that. No one has a problem with a caterpillar becoming a whatever it is, butterfly or anything.
I think it's true about every being and set of beings.
Well, you believe that that your existence could equal your non-existence, right?
No.
No. Well, okay, what sustains the continuity of identity through time invariantly such that your identity could not fail?
It doesn't have to. It could.
Look, I'm not saying it could. I'm asking you a direct question, and then you're just going to sort of a stronger claim and saying it doesn't have to. I'm not asking about whether it has to.
I'm saying nothing does that job.
Okay, so why is it the way it is?
For no reason.
How do you know it's no reason?
Because everything could become what it's not. Nothing has a necessary reason for being what it is.
Wait, just because you can imagine a world where something could be, that doesn't mean that that's how it is or why it is. I'm asking you, why is it that there is no reason for reason? And you're just telling me because it could be.
Yeah, because it's just not necessary. It's not logically necessary to have a reason at the basis of existence.
Why not?
Because A, it's logically possible,
You
and it
have
doesn't
no
have
idea, do you?
any necessary conflict with experience.
What is securing logical possibility?
It's not something that's secured.
So you're saying that it is logically possible that nothing secures anything, but when I ask you what secures that logic that you're using, it's possible that nothing secures that.
Yeah,
So
I don't
really,
think
you
there's
can't
things that
predicate.
secure things.
You really can't open. You can't even open your mouth.
I don't
You
think
can't
there's
literally.
stuff.
You
I don't
cannot
think there's a thing
predicate
that secures
intelligibly
things. No, I don't think there's any
without-
security.
without contradicting yourself. Without contradicting yourself, you literally cannot predicate intelligibly.
Why?
Fate.
Why can't I say the cat is on the
Move
mat?
on. Do not answer a fool
Yeah.
according to
I mean,
his
I-
folly.
Because clearly that's a
Yeah.
contingent.
I love you guys. I'll jump out, but like,
right?
sure.
Oh, you don't
Yeah.
leave me.
But I think he's right, discernible. Like discernible. You're a nice guy, but like you know, literally you're as dumb as a bag of rocks. It's
But the
crazy.
fact-
But I love you.
The claim
He's
that
not-
the cat is on the
Don't lie
mat
to him.
is a contingent truth.
he did run away in the end. Oh well.
Yeah. So maybe somebody can explain what's wrong with what I'm saying.